Hi guys, Martin88 here and welcome back to another FIFA 22 video and welcome back to another tactics video here on the channel, brought from myself and from Josh Nikes. They're where the tactics come from, Burnley's esports player. His links will be in the description below. So, what are we looking at today? Well, if you'd have watched last week's video, tactics video, you would have seen that we gave you some really good ultra attacking tactics for if you're chasing the game in the last 10-20 minutes. And I said then that this week we was going to be giving you some ultra defensive tactics to try and see out a game, which I don't know about you, but I could particularly do with. I do know about these tactics, but I just haven't implemented them, which is stupid because I get so many times where I'm up in games by a goal or two in Elite Division or in Foot Champs, whatever, and I end up like drawing the game, whatever. So frustrating. So I'm going to implement these immediately. So without further ado, let's get straight into them and have a look at what we are dealing with here. And I think you guys are going to really, I won't say enjoy them because it's stressful seeing out a game, but they're going to be very helpful for you, I think is the wording. So this is how it would line up for with Josh's team. Like, take the chemistry with a pinch of salt because you change to it in game, so it doesn't need, you're not going to start the game off like this. So forget what the chemistry says, okay? But let's go into the actual tactics themselves and we'll go through it and tell you how it works. So some very interesting stuff going on here. So first of all, defensive style is balanced, okay? Now the only other option you would have here is drop back, okay? But the problem with that is that as much as we want to have players back, with drop back, you'll literally, like your team seems to drop fairly deep anyway, but with drop back, it will only literally take one turn from the opposition and they're going to score. So just balance just makes it a little bit more aggressive in trying to win the ball back. Not in terms of attacking, but just a little bit more oomph in trying to win the ball back. I hope that makes sense. Defensive width and the depth, both on 25. That is because we want to be really narrow and deep. But when we're saying deep, because you're going to think about what I said about the drop back, we're talking about in terms of if we've got possession of the ball in their half, okay? We don't, with drop back, they'll just retreat like 100 miles an hour, where with 25 depth, they'll just naturally be a little bit deeper than normal, but as soon as we lose it, we won't be on our own penalty spot, okay? So I hope that makes sense, but just the transition of if you lose the ball, you won't be under as much pressure as quick. And of course, what you need to remember with all of this is that realistically your opponent is going to be on constant pressure, so it is going to be difficult. And with having it on balanced and the depth as 25, it probably gives you a chance not to get countered so easily. If you have got possession of the ball and you're just trying to keep it, if you lose it, you won't get countered as easily. Plus, with some of these other tactics, it should just give you a little bit more option because the defence has dropped off, so you might be able to go back to the defence. But of course, as soon as you do that, you are going to get pressed very, very hard. Right, build-up play is long ball, okay? Now, all of these tactics are just to keep the opposition at bay. We're not overly looking to score a goal here. Obviously, if the opportunity arises itself, then go for it. But, you know, if you're like 5 minutes to go, probably we're thinking like, let's just hold the ball here. Like, let's just stop them from scoring. And if you're getting pressed like mad, which you probably will be, because any decent player chasing a game will have their team on constant pressure by them. It's so hard to get out. You're just absolutely, you know, suckered in. And having it on long ball will just ask a couple of players just to run forward, and it will allow you to basically lump it, hoof it, direct pass, whatever you want to call it. And there's a chance that like one of your quick wingers might be able to get onto it. And if they do, that takes the whole team completely up the pitch and completely diffuses the situation. And that's your out ball, basically. If you don't have that, then you're going to get really bogged down. Chance creation, possession. And as you can see on the little mini map with them passing it around there in the opposition half, if we do manage to get the ball up into the opposition's half, we just want nice close options to play the ball around a bit. You're going to be getting pressed by mad, but if you can move the ball around nicely, whereas if you've got it on something like forward runs or direct passing, we're going to have players starting runs. If we was unfortunate enough to lose it, they're up the pitch, leaves us exposed. Also, we know how much we're going to get pressed, and if those players are all making runs, it just leaves the player on the ball really exposed, and you're almost forcing yourself into play a pass, which you don't want to. You just want to hold on to it. So if we're on possession, we should have people nice and close for little triangles and to try and keep the ball. Attacking width 50. Obviously, again, this isn't from an offensive point of view, but it's just for the shape of the team. We'll try and keep that quite balanced, really, so keep it on 50. Obviously, players in the box, 1. We've got no interest in getting players in the box. We don't want players suddenly just running forward and leaving a gap. Corners and free kicks also on 1, because we don't want players forward. Okay, into the instructions. A lot of these probably won't surprise you. So, even the striker we have on come back on defence. So, that doesn't mean that Eusebio would end up standing next to Marquinhos at centre-back. What it does mean is that if their defence has got the ball, he's going to make sure that he's behind the ball. So you've got 11 men behind the ball, which obviously makes it nice and compact and difficult to break down. Similar situation with your cam, okay? So they're both making sure that they're, defending from the front is the phrase that we look for, isn't it? Okay. We're going from top to bottom here because obviously defence is more important, isn't it? With these tactics. On the wings, we have come back on defence, and it was always helpful to but if you've got some pace there, it allows us to play that long ball to try and get them on. So like someone like Mbappe would be brilliant for this. Try a lofted through ball over the top, because they might even have their fullbacks on join the attack, so there could be a nice bit of space there. Lump it into it, and Mbappe would be on that. And where his support runs are unbalanced, he's always kind of going to be available for that. We don't want to do getting behind, because if you do have the ball with your right back and you've got nowhere to go, you might not necessarily just want the winger to go bombing forward. So just have that on balance, but also come back on defence. Naturally, the 2 CDMs are on stay back while attacking. Of course they are. They're the shield for the 2 centre-backs, but they're also on cover centre. And of course that's because we want to absolutely cover that central area of the pitch and pack it out with players. So both CDMs on stay back while attacking and a balanced defence. Then fullbacks obviously stay back while attacking along with the centre-backs. Remember, we've got 25 width with them, so they're going to be lovely and compact. So yeah, guys, there they are. Now, they might not be the most enjoyable tactics in the world, but I wouldn't be surprised if out of all the tactics we've done, that they would be the most effective ones for you. Okay, so give them a whirl as ever. Let us know in the comments how they work for you. Any questions, of course, let us know. But yeah, guys, that is it for today. There are ultra defensive tactics. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. See you later, guys. Bye bye.